Phantom rising. The command center of Earth Defense Station Epsilon 9 buzzed with frantic activity as holographic displays showed a sea of red warning indicators. Lieutenant Commander Maya Chen stared at the tactical display with hollow eyes. Another colony lost. Another 10,000 lives snuffed out by the relentless Selnar advance. 3 more sectors fallen in the last month, Admiral Harrison said, his weathered face etched with exhaustion. We've lost 40% of our fleet. At this rate, Earth will be exposed within 60 days. Maya clenched her fists. 6 months ago, humanity had been expanding peacefully across the solar system when the Selnar Empire arrived from the depths of space. Their technology was decades beyond Earth's capabilities. Energy shields that made them virtually impervious to conventional weapons, drives that let them appear virtually anywhere without warning. There has to be something we can do, Maya said, though the hollow feeling in her chest suggested otherwise. Harrison's eyes fell on her. That's why I've called you here, Commander. You've shown a knack for unorthodox solutions, and right now, orthodoxy is getting us killed. He brought up a new display, a restricted sector of space near Neptune that had been quarantined for years. 3 days ago, our deep space sensors detected an energy signature in Sector X-19. It matches nothing in our database or the Selnar patterns we've documented. Maya frowned. X-19. Isn't that where we lost the experimental vessel Hermes during the quantum drive tests 15 years ago? Yes. Harrison's gaze was steady. I want you to take the scout ship Hawking and investigate. If it's nothing, you'll be back in 48 hours. If it's something that can help us against the Selnar. He didn't need to finish the sentence. The Hawking slipped through the dark void of the outer solar system, a sleek, black vessel designed for stealth rather than combat. Maya had assembled a small crew of specialists she trusted. Dr. Eliza Wong, quantum physicist, Chief Engineer Tariq Nazari, and Security Officer Damon Wells. Approaching X-19 perimeter, reported Tariq from the pilot station. Sensors are already picking up something. Maya leaned forward. Define something. Energy readings that don't make sense, Eliza said, frowning at her console. It's as if space itself is folded somehow. Quantum states existing simultaneously. Put it on screen, Maya ordered. The main display activated, showing what appeared to be a ship, but unlike any Maya had ever seen. At first glance, it resembled a standard military cruiser, but its edges seemed to blur and shift, as if the vessel wasn't fully present in their reality. Is that the Hermes? Damon asked, his voice hushed. Eliza shook her head. The registry, it says Phantom. But there's no ship with that name in our fleet. There was, Maya said quietly, 100 years ago. It was decommissioned after reports of crew experiencing hallucinations. The project was abandoned and classified. The others looked at her in surprise. My grandfather was part of the original crew, she explained. He never spoke about it much, but he had nightmares until the day he died. As they watched, the mysterious vessel seemed to flicker, portions of its hull becoming transparent before solidifying again. It's not fully in our dimension, Eliza whispered, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. It's incredible. Can we dock with it? Maya asked. Tariq looked uncertain. I can get us close, but with those fluctuations, I don't know if a seal will hold. Do it, Maya ordered. This might be exactly what we need. The docking procedure was nerve-wracking. Twice, the Phantom's hull became insubstantial just as they were about to make contact. On the third attempt, the docking clamps engaged with a shudder that ran through the Hawking's frame. Seal is stable. For now, Tariq reported. Maya led the boarding party herself, along with Eliza and Damon. They wore full environmental suits, not just for potential vacuum, but for any unknown dangers that might await. The airlock cycled, and they stepped onto the Phantom. The interior was eerily preserved. No dust, no signs of age or abandonment. Lights flickered on as they moved through the corridors, as if the ship was responding to their presence. Power systems are online, Eliza marveled, checking readings on her scanner. But there's no reactor signature I recognize. Split up, Damon suggested. Maya shook her head. We stay together. Head for the bridge. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors, Maya felt an odd sensation, a pressure behind her eyes, a whisper just below the threshold of hearing. The others felt it too. She could see it in their tense postures, the way Eliza kept adjusting her scanner, as if trying to identify an elusive signal. The bridge doors slid open at their approach. Unlike the rest of the ship, the bridge showed signs of a struggle. Chairs overturned, scorch marks on bulkheads. What happened here? Damon murmured, weapon ready. Before anyone could respond, the main console activated. Displays flickered to life, showing star charts and data streams that scrolled too quickly to read. It's activating, Eliza exclaimed, rushing to a science station. The systems are coming online by themselves. Maya approached the captain's chair tentatively. As her gloved hand touched the armrest, a jolt of electricity, or something that felt like it, shot up her arm. She gasped, staggering back. Commander, Damon moved to support her. But Maya wasn't in pain. Instead, she felt a presence in her mind, alien yet somehow familiar. Not words, exactly, but concepts, images, emotions. Danger, purpose, survival, alliance. It's alive, she whispered. The ship, it's conscious. Eliza looked up from her scanner, eyes wide. That's impossible. Scan me, Maya challenged. You'll see. The readings confirmed it. Unusual neural activity, patterns that matched the ship's energy fluctuations. It's trying to communicate with you, Eliza breathed. But how? Before Maya could answer, alarms blared throughout the ship. The main view screen activated, showing 3 Selmar warships appearing from hyperspace nearby. They've found us, Damon said, reaching for his comm to warn the Hawking. Maya raised her hand to stop him, the ship's intentions suddenly clear in her mind. Wait. Commander, we need to evacuate now. Tariq's voice came through their comms. The Hawking's sensors showed Selmar ships approaching. We have minutes at most. Return to the Hawking, Maya ordered Eliza and Damon. Tell Tariq to disengage immediately. What about you? Damon demanded. Maya settled into the captain's chair, feeling the ship's systems respond to her presence. I'm staying. The Phantom wants to fight. That's insane. Eliza protested. We don't understand what this ship is, or what it can do. It understands the Xelnar, Maya said with certainty, and it knows how to defeat them. I can feel it. After a tense standoff, Damon and Eliza reluctantly returned to the Hawking. Maya watched on the view screen as the scout ship disengaged and accelerated away. Alone on the bridge, Maya closed her eyes, opening her mind to the Phantom's presence. Information flooded her consciousness. Technical specifications, tactical capabilities, and something else. Memories from other realities, other timelines where this ship had fought, and sometimes lost against enemies like the Xelnar. The first Selnar warship fired, its energy beams streaking toward the seemingly defenseless Phantom. Maya didn't flinch, trusting what the ship had shown her. The beam passed straight through the Phantom without impact. On her console, weapons systems came online. Technology unlike anything in Earth's arsenal. Maya understood instinctively how to use them, guiding the targeting systems with thought rather than controls. The Phantom fired. Unlike the Xelnar's attack, the Phantom's weapons did not pass harmlessly through their target. The lead Xelnar ship's shields flared and collapsed, its hull breached in multiple places. The remaining Xelnar vessels responded with a barrage of fire, but the Phantom was already shifting, becoming partly insubstantial. Some shots passed through harmlessly, others the ship absorbed, using their energy to power its own systems. Maya felt exhilaration course through her as the Phantom moved with impossible speed. phasing in and out of normal space. The Excelnar couldn't track them, couldn't predict where they would appear next. 2 minutes later, the battle was over. 3 Excelnar warships, each of which could have destroyed a small human fleet, drifted in pieces. The Phantom sustained no damage. The Hawking approached cautiously. Maya opened a channel. "This is Chen. The threat has been neutralized." There was stunned silence before Tarek responded. "Commander, how is that possible?" Maya looked around at the ancient bridge, feeling the ship's satisfaction and readiness. "We've just changed the course of the war," she replied. "Return to Earth Defense Station. Tell Admiral Harrison we've found our edge." As the Hawking set course for Earth, Maya sensed something new from the Phantom. A warning. The Excelnar would adapt. They always did. This was just the first battle of many, and the Phantom had more secrets to reveal. Maya settled deeper into the captain's chair. "Show me," she whispered to the ship. "Show me everything. Battle beyond our reality." Admiral Harrison's expression shifted from disbelief to cautious hope as he reviewed the footage from the Hawking sensors. 3 Excelnar warships destroyed in under 2 minutes, he said, shaking his head. By a ship that's over a century old and supposedly decommissioned. Maya stood at attention in his office, aware of the skeptical glances from the other officers present. "The Phantom isn't what it appears to be, sir. Dr. Wong's analysis suggests it exists partially in multiple dimensions simultaneously." Eliza stepped forward, activating a holographic display. "The ship's quantum signature, it is extraordinary. It's not just phasing in and out of our reality. It's drawing energy and possibly even matter from parallel dimensions." "And it speaks to you?" Harrison asked Maya, his tone carefully neutral. "Not with words," Maya explained. "But yes, we're connected. I can sense its intentions, access its knowledge. Without that connection, we wouldn't be able to utilize its capabilities." Harrison studied her for a long moment. "And you're certain this vessel isn't a Excelnar trap? Some kind of psychological weapon?" "The Phantom predates our contact with the Excelnar by decades," Maya countered. "And it's already proven effective against them. Sir, this could change everything." After extensive debriefing and analysis, a decision was made. Maya would retain command of the Phantom, with Eliza, Tariq, and Damon joining as her core crew, along with a small complement of specialists. Their first official mission: defend the Ganymede colony, which intelligence suggested would be the Excelnar's next target. "The Phantom has shown us only a fraction of its capabilities," Maya told her newly assembled crew as they prepared to depart. "Our job is to learn, adapt, and use this gift to save what's left of humanity." Tariq had taken to the engineering systems with fascination, discovering integration points where human technology could interface with the Phantom systems. Eliza was mapping the ship's quantum fluctuations, developing theories about its origin that seemed more science fiction than fact. "I believe the Phantom was caught in some kind of dimensional storm," she explained during their journey to Ganymede. "Not just from our past, but from possible futures, alternative timelines. That's why it contains technology we've never seen, because in some other reality, we developed it. Or someone else did," Damon suggested. "If parallel dimensions exist, who's to say some versions don't have completely different species evolving?" Maya listened to these discussions with half an ear, her mind partly merged with the ship's consciousness. Through this connection, she was beginning to understand more about the Phantom's nature. It wasn't just a vessel that had become unstuck in reality. It was a composite entity. Parts of it had been drawn from multiple timelines where humanity had faced extinction-level threats. The Phantom had formed as a reaction to those threats, a survival mechanism that transcended dimensional boundaries. And in many of those dimensions, the threat had been the Excelnar. They arrived at Ganymede to find the colony already under attack. 5 Excelnar destroyers were bombarding the defensive installations, with ground forces beginning their landing procedures. "Battle stations," Maya ordered, feeling the Phantom's eagerness to engage. This was what it was made for. But as they closed with the enemy fleet, Maya sensed something new, a caution from the ship. "They've modified their sensors," Elisa confirmed, studying her readings. "They're attempting to track the Phantom's phase shifts." The Selnar had adapted quickly. Their first volley of fire still mostly passed through the partially phased Phantom, but one beam struck solidly against the hull, causing the ship to shudder. "They're learning," Maya murmured. She closed her eyes, communing more deeply with the ship. "Show me something new." Knowledge flowed into her mind. Tactical options that hadn't been revealed before. The Phantom could do more than just phase in and out of reality. It could create localized reality distortions, affecting the space around enemy vessels. Maya directed the ship's energy into these new systems. Around the nearest Selnar destroyer, space itself seemed to ripple and distort. The enemy vessel's hull began to strain as if under enormous pressure, seams splitting, atmosphere venting into space. "My God," Tariq whispered from his station. "We're altering the fundamental forces within their ship's area of space." The remaining Selnar vessels concentrated their fire on the Phantom, their improved targeting systems allowing more hits to connect. Damage reports flashed across Maya's console. "Shields at 60%, Damon reported. "Whatever they've done to their weapons, they can hurt us now." Maya didn't panic. The Phantom was communicating something else, a mode it had never used before, something it considered dangerous but necessary. "Everyone, secure yourselves," she ordered. "We're about to try something extreme." As her crew scrambled to comply, Maya initiated the new sequence. The Phantom's engines hummed with power, drawing energy from dimensions beyond their own. The view screen showed the space around them beginning to fold, reality itself bending to the ship's will. And then, for a brief moment, they were everywhere at once. Later, crew members would struggle to describe what they experienced. Some reported seeing multiple versions of the bridge, overlapping like ghostly images. Others claimed they could see through the hull into open space, yet didn't feel exposed to vacuum. From the Selnar perspective, the effect was more dramatic. The Phantom appeared to split into dozens of identical ships, each one solid and real, each one opening fire from a different angle. Their carefully coordinated defense collapsed into chaos as they couldn't determine which targets were real and which were dimensional echoes. When the Phantom returned fully to normal space, all 5 Selnar destroyers were drifting, heavily damaged or destroyed. The colony was saved. But the victory had come at a cost. Multiple systems on the Phantom were offline, power levels critically low. The dimensional splitting put enormous strain on the ship's structure, Eliza reported. "We won't be able to do that again anytime soon." Despite the damage, news of their victory spread rapidly throughout the human colonies. The mysterious ship that could stand against the Selnar became a symbol of hope. The Phantom and its crew were recalled to Earth for repairs and debriefing, celebrated as heroes. But Maya felt the ship's unease growing. Through their connection, she sensed a greater threat approaching, something the Phantom had encountered before in other realities. During the debriefing with Earth's Defense Council, she voiced these concerns. "The Selnar are adapting to our capabilities faster than expected. Our intelligence suggests they're bringing in specialized vessels, phase hunters designed specifically to track and engage ships like the Phantom." "How could they develop such technology so quickly?" a council member asked. Maya exchanged glances with Eliza before answering. "We believe that Selnar have encountered dimensional anomalies before, perhaps even ships similar to the Phantom from other realities." The implication hung heavy in the room. If the Selnar had fought and defeated ghost ships in other dimensions, they might already know the Phantom's weaknesses. "There's more," Maya continued. "The Phantom has shown me their command structure. The Selnar fleet we've been fighting is just the vanguard. Their main armada is gathering beyond Neptune, preparing for a final push toward Earth." Silence fell across the council chamber. "How many ships?" Harrison finally asked. "Over 300, Maya answered quietly. "More than enough to overwhelm our remaining defenses." Plans were made, strategies developed. The Phantom would lead a small, the elite fleet in a desperate strike against the Selnar command ship before the main assault could begin. If they could remove the Selnar leadership, it might buy time for the rest of humanity to evacuate Earth. As the Phantom underwent repairs, Maya spent hours in her quarters, deepening her connection with the ship. Each time they joined minds, she glimpsed more of the vessel's strange history. Fragments of battles fought across countless realities, victories and defeats against threats that sometimes wore the face of the Selnar, sometimes something far worse. The night before the mission, Eliza came to Maya's quarters with new findings. "I've been analyzing the quantum signature of the ship's core," she said, displaying a complex waveform. "There's something you need to know, Commander. The dimensional energy the Phantom harnesses, it's affecting you too." Maya nodded slowly. "I felt it. When we're connected, I can see possibilities, versions of myself that took different paths." "It's more than that," Eliza said gently. "Your quantum signature is beginning to match the ship's. You're becoming like it, partially phased across multiple realities." "What does that mean for me?" Eliza hesitated. "I don't know. No human has ever experienced this before. But if the bond continues to strengthen, you might not be able to separate from the Phantom without severe consequences." Maya absorbed this information, finding that it didn't frighten her as much as it should. "We all make sacrifices in war, Eliza. If this is mine, I accept it." The final battle came with the rising of Earth's sun. The Phantom, accompanied by 12 of humanity's remaining warships, slipped into the outer solar system, where the Selnar Armada gathered around their massive command vessel. "They've detected us," Damon reported as alarms sounded. "Multiple hostiles on intercept course." Maya felt the familiar presence of the Phantom in her mind, stronger than ever before. This time, there was something new. A plan, a possibility, but one that came with enormous risk. "All ships, engage the outer defense screen," she ordered. "Draw their fire away from the command ship. The Phantom will handle the primary target." As the human fleet engaged, creating a diversion, Maya guided the Phantom toward the heart of the Selnar formation. They took heavy fire, shields weakening with each hit. "Shields critical," Tarek reported. "One more direct hit, and we're done." Maya closed her eyes, fully merging her consciousness with the ship. "Everyone, prepare for emergency protocols. If this works, things are going to get strange." Before her crew could question the order, Maya activated the Phantom's final protocol. Not just a phase shift or dimensional split, but a complete translation of the ship and everything within it to a state of quantum uncertainty. For a moment that stretched into eternity, the Phantom existed in all possible states simultaneously, solid and insubstantial, past and future, victorious and defeated. When reality reasserted itself, they were inside the Selnar command ship, having phased directly through its shields and hull to materialize in its central chamber. Before the stunned Selnar commanders could react, Maya launched every weapon the Phantom possessed, not at the enemy, but at the dimensional barriers around them. Reality itself tore open, creating a cascade effect that rippled throughout the command ship. The Phantom phased out just as the Selnar vessel imploded, caught in a dimensional rift of its own making. The chain reaction spread to nearby ships, pulling dozens of Selnar vessels into the growing anomaly. When it was over, more than half the Selnar fleet was gone, and the remainder, leaderless and confused, began a disorganized retreat. The human fleet had suffered losses but achieved the impossible, victory against overwhelming odds. The Phantom drifted silently among the stars, its power systems nearly depleted. Inside, Maya sat motionless in the captain's chair, her physical form flickering between solidity and transparency. "Commander." Eliza approached cautiously, scanner in hand. "Maya." Maya's eyes opened, but they were different now, deeper somehow, as if seeing beyond the visible spectrum. When she spoke, her voice echoed slightly, as if coming from multiple sources. "We won," she said simply. "But the war isn't over. It's never over." "Maya, your readings. You've fully merged with the ship's quantum field. Eliza said, her voice breaking. I don't know if we can reverse it. Maya smiled, an expression of both sadness and acceptance. The Phantom has shown me what comes next, Eliza, that Selnar will return eventually. And when they do, humanity will need more than one ghost ship. She stood, her form becoming more solid through an apparent act of will. The Phantom wasn't an accident. It was created, will be created, by humanity in a future we now must build. A future where we understand the dimensional barriers and how to cross them. Damon and Tarek joined them on the bridge, listening in awe as Maya explained what the Phantom had revealed. The ship wasn't just a weapon. It was a message, sent back through the quantum foam of reality to give humanity a fighting chance. And now, with the knowledge Maya had gained through her bond with the vessel, they could begin developing the technology that would eventually create the Phantom itself, closing a temporal loop that spanned dimensions. As Earth celebrated their unexpected victory, Maya Chen and the Phantom slipped away from the fleet, heading toward the outer darkness of space. There were other threats coming, other realities that needed saving. And Maya, now more ship than human, more quantum possibility than flesh, would face them all. Behind them, humanity began to rebuild, guided by the scientific discoveries Eliza and Tarek would develop from their time aboard the ghostly vessel. A new era dawned, one where humanity would no longer be confined to a single reality, a single timeline, a single destiny. The ghost warship that shouldn't exist had given them a future that otherwise never would have been.